Hello there. Today we're going to be talking about global information technologies and the way it relates to gender to SDG 5, I believe. Yes, SDG 5, which is gender role equalities in the Czech Republic, and how going to be used to implement. So first, some of the key issues are gender pay gap. So women earn approximately 16 to 20% less than men in the Czech Republic, which is one of the highest gaps in the European Union. Um, Women hold around 23% of the higher leadership positions in the Czech Republic, um, and are underrepresented in the corporate community. Um, there is significant gender not dysmorphia, sorry, disrepresentation in STEM participation. So women hold less percentages, and they participate less in those aspects. um in the Czech Republic, traditional roles still exist persistently throughout the country, like women staying at home raising families while the husband goes out to work. um and the big problem, one of the biggest ones right now, is actually the digital um oh my gosh, the oh my gosh, I can't the digital gender gap, which is um women do not know how to use technology or aren't as tech savvy as men are in the Czech Republic. And so some of the solutions that we can see with this using GIT are: one, digital skills and education platforms; two, workplace and equality technologies; three, data and transparency solutions; fifth one is civic engagement and advocacy. So I just stated a couple. So going with the first one now, digital skills and education platforms. So what we can start up using GAT is actually coding boot camps and programming boot camps targeted at women that would increase the amount of women who become programmers and who become coders for companies. And that way we can see an increase of the representation in these aspects. As well, VR and AR educational tools. So utilizing and showing them how to use AR and VR, which is a technology I've talked about before, and that is, I feel like, is highly underutilized. Um, and then second, we can talk about workplace equality technologies, which is blind recruitment platforms, which is incredible, which is ways where you recruit people without knowing their gender. You see their qualifications, you see who they are, you do background check, and then after you hire them, or after you get to know them more, you know, behind this back wall, you do background checks. So that way, you don't immediately say, oh, she's a woman, or that guy's a man, or you don't assume who they are. You just see them based on their qualifications, education, background, where they worked, if they've had multiple degrees and stuff like that. So only that as well. And then moving on to data and transparency solutions. We can do anonymous reporting platforms, which are safe spaces to report discrimination or harassment. Nowadays, sadly, if you want to disclose harassment or you want to talk about harassment, you have to go public, or you cannot. A lot of companies don't have protections against people who want to report harassment and stuff like that. So, but anyways, there's so much more and so many possibilities that we can use GIT in order to help the gender role gap in the Czech Republic and everything. So, the Czech Republic is a very tech savvy country, as I've talked about throughout the semester. But there's still a lot of stuff that can be resolved using GAT, especially when it comes to gender roles. So, thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a good rest of your day.